Darth Vader's glove. There's an entire story around Darth Vader's glove, which technically is a Mandalorian crush gaunt. That's Star Wars fandom for you. They track the provenance of every individual item of clothing. It's like Antiques Roadshow with more blaster fire. At any rate, Darth Vader's Mandalorian crush gaunt was pulled through a wormhole during the explosion of the Death Star II at the Battle of Endor and transferred to the Mon Calamari homeworld of Dak. Some more stuff happens to it, but frankly, I'm exhausted just getting to that point. Lack of paper. Think about it. When in the Star Wars movies does anyone ever use paper? They never write grocery lists or make origami swans, origami Minox. Originally, there was officially no paper in the Star Wars universe, which explains the lack of recycling bins on the Millennium Falcon. However, some authors eventually took it upon themselves to introduce paper, like in the touching scene in Assault at Salonia, where C-3PO scrapbooks. Words for cutting off people's body parts. Lightsaber combat has been so virulently documented that basically anything a Jedi does while holding a lightsaber has a 1,000-year-old history and a dumb pseudo-Japanese name. Case in point, Cho Mai, the Jedi term for chopping off a dude's hand. There's also Cho Sun, the Jedi term for chopping off a dude's arm, and Cho Mok, which is this kind of catch-all term for just chopping off dude parts, usually legs. I find myself wondering how often this actually comes up. Do Jedi say, "Oh yeah, I totally Cho Sun that guy. Oh yeah, none of that wussy Cho Mai stuff. When I Cho, it's Sun all the way." One arm, the one-armed Wampa. Speaking of limb removal. Okay, Empire Strikes Back seems pretty straightforward. Luke gets smacked by a Wampa, Luke escapes from the Wampa, Luke goes and takes a nap inside a Tauntaun. But of course it's never that simple. It turns out that the Wampa that Luke sliced the arm off of, which by the way is not the same Wampa for some reason that smacked him across the face, survives and goes on to get the catchy nickname of One Arm, and then leads a whole band of Wampas. And then, eventually, it's killed by Luke when he comes back to Hoth some years later. So now you know this whole intricate backstory involving a minor character, one that in the end doesn't make the tiniest bit of difference. Welcome to fandom. The Star Wars Holiday Special. Even if you're not a Star Wars fan, you may have heard of this abomination of television programming. A special that served us such sweetmeats as Chewbacca celebrating Life Day, with his father, Itchy, and his son, Lumpy. It also featured Harvey Korman, playing a four-armed celebrity chef named Gormanda. This show is universally reviled, in part because it fails to treat the milieu with sufficient respect, and also because it sucks, except for the one little tiny animated bit with Boba Fett. Now, what part of this horrible, cheesy, low-budget television special would you expect would be official canon in the Star Wars universe? The answer? All of it. Life Day? Canonical. Itchy? Lumpy? Canonical. Harvey Korman in drag is an official part of the Star Wars universe. Continuity kills. The Wampas. Wampa!